We are back. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Galaxy Battle. Got SA qualifiers here as Stars will take on Sacred. Game 2. Game 1 looked pretty good for Sacred. Gotta say, their lanes went beautifully. But then they just kind of got absolutely crapped on because they couldn't initiate a single time. Feels bad, man. Stars are able to crash in really hard every single time thanks to a really mean Clockwork Storm play combo. And well, that's sometimes good enough to straight win a game. We'll see what Sacred can do. Definitely should be a close match here in this second game. I'm Michael Erskine, your caster for said game, and maybe even the game 3. You never know. But either way, we will have very similar bans to the last game. I don't know if Brewmaster was banned out first there. I don't quite remember. But either way, we'll see what Stars can do to fix up their lanes, because that game, though they did win, it did not look like a really comfortable win. It kind of feels like they cheesed it out. Kind of feel like they cheated Sacred out of that win. I mean, not really. It was obviously draft limitations there from Sacred, and it was Stars on the back foot for most of it, but still, we'll see. If they do shore up their lanes and still have that same oomph in the end, yeah, it's going to be Stars all the way through, man. Sacred will pick up the Bane. It was pretty good. I mean, Bane you don't really expect to have a great time once he's going up against a Rubik and a Storm Spirit. Like, those heroes make it really difficult for Bane to actually function. Still sticking to what works, Masoku did give his life up quite a few times just as a scout, kind of as a sacrifice. I think it's powerful enough to pick up. Even if you want to open up the same way, Sacred, get the Mirana one more time, I still think that's pretty fine, because those were pretty effective in the early stages. Just got to make sure you're able to get that initiation off in some way, shape, or form. Speaking of Stars, going to go ahead and first pick the Vengeful Spirit one more time. Again, not sure if that's support or core. And the Puck right after. Sacred will grab their support duo in the Bane for the lane, and then Earth Spirit on the roam. Very interesting adaptation there. For sure, Matthew is a perfectly capable Earth Spirit player. Is a pretty good hero to have versus the Puck, that's for sure. Combos versus the Bane? Not really. But still, this is going to be Sacred getting a little bit more action, a little bit more catch in their early picks. And we saw their lack of catch in the last game. This for sure is going to be a weakness that they're not going to have at least as much in this here game 2. Stars, on the other hand, will pick up the Venge and Puck, which is not exactly the most aggressive of openings. Like, I'm not really sure if you could do like an offensive tri-lane Puck solo safe lane if you want to do something like that, but you do have a little bit of an opportunity here for Stars to still lean aggressively into the game. If you pick up a heavy right clicker from the mid lane, or at least, I mentioned Medusa in the last game, still very viable here with the Puck. You have a lot of options there from Stars, assuming Puck is going to go towards the side lane. The Vengeful Spirit and Puck also, maybe situationally, but we'll be able to snap coils on demand with that swap. You have to be going for a very important target if you're going to use swap in that way, but it's a possibility for sure. If you ags the coil and you snap it on like an enemy anti-mage or something like that, then yeah, you're going to have yourself a good time. It's a little bit situational, but it's all about keeping your draft kind of free-form, kind of open-ended. Whenever you pick up a Vengeful Spirit as the first hero, that's what you're going to get. I see Stars doing it now. I see Na'Vi doing it all the time as well. I absolutely love it. They will have Anti-Mage and TA taken out. Sacred covering their mid lane bases quite a bit here. And we see Viper and Mirana all mid lane, except for the Anti-Mage, I guess, going to be eliminated from the pool.
5 seconds remaining.
And eyes open for the Medusa. You got to watch out for that hero whenever you see an Anti-Mage banned out. Although, of course, the path is clear for Stars to go for that of their own if they really do feel like it. Should be their 4 positions. Quick sweep Clockwork out. Slardar still in. Ooh, that could be really, really powerful here for Stars. Puck Slardar is a lot of initiation power, so you do get that. And, of course, Vengeful Spirit support or core works out really well as you're able to stack up a lot of minus armor with that wave with the Corrosive Haze. Now, obviously, Puck isn't really the hero that can capitalize on that lack of armor, but still you have those options. And of course, it's Slardar. You are able to play the early Bounty Rune control game. You're able to apply that pressure, kind of mirror that Earth Spirit's movements. A very, very powerful hero who is, seen quite a lot more nowadays. If you play Vengeful Spirit as core with the Slardar in the 4 position, Puck in off lane, That can be really, really good for Stars here. Other 4-position opportunities. I mean, obviously you can go for the less than ideal heroes. The Spirit Breakers, your 4-position Earth Shakers. Not terrible. It doesn't really seem like he's going to have a great place here right now. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure Stars or Ned can play a Enchantress, but I'm not really sure if we've seen many SA teams actually go for that. Definitely more of a European region kind of thing. SA, they don't like to play with that a lot. It's like sometimes you see it. Pick up a Gyrocopter. That's a pretty interesting one. Gyrocopter with the stun, with the Vengeful Spirit stun. I mean, it stuns and stuns and stuns. And with the puck, actually works out pretty well. Again, Coil, especially nowadays, is not really a damaging tool. You use it to keep the enemies within a circle. You use it to keep them contained. And you know what? Gyrocopter can capitalize on that. He can just drop bombs, literally and figuratively, on those coiled targets. Usually is pretty powerful. But of course, front-loading all of your damage into that small AoE is risky. Going up against heroes like Weaver, and hey, there's the slaughter. You're going up against heroes like Weaver, like Earth Spirit. These are really, really slippery heroes. Not easy to lock them down into coil. If you whip the coil or only land down to 1, you're going to be lacking in quite a bit of power here. And that being said, still Stars. The Slaughter and the Vengeful Spirit minus armor will have a lot of scaling moving into the late game. Stuns and disables, I would say definitely enough to handle a Weaver. I mean, you could overload on stuns, and that's never really a bad thing. For sure, at the very least, you want to make sure you have an adequate number of stuns. And between the Slaughter, the Venge, and the Missile, and of course the Puck, Silence, and Coil, the Weaver does have to be careful. It's a risky pick for sure from the Sacred side. Usually why I don't like seeing Weavers until that 4th or 5th box is a hero that up against a lot of crowd control is maybe going to have a really miserable time. And these heroes, they have a decent amount of CC, but they also put out quite a bit of burst damage. If you get caught with a single stun, you're taking an absolute truckload. Even if you're not, even if you're trying to race like for kills, you're taking Rocket Barrage damage. And, you know, Rocket Barrage sometimes is not maxed out first, depending on what the Gyrocopter actually wants. It's still a huge, huge threat that as a Weaver and as an Earth Spirit, you're going to have to worry about. Specifically this Earth Spirit. Like, his job is to roll in. And when you roll in, you usually go in by yourself. And that means Gyrocopter is going to be able to blast you in the face with full damage. It's a mean set of circumstances there for sure. Sacred, I mean, they have the Weaver. I'd imagine it's going to be Tekka's Weaver. But Tekka, Weaver, still looking for a Benjez hero like Phantom Lancer and, well, it's not Earthshaker. So this is going to be Tekka's hero. So it's going to be a Benjez Weaver, a Tekka Shaker, and we're still looking for that Leo style pick. I don't think Leo style plays any of this stuff, or at least not extraordinarily well. So it is going to be a disadvantageous situation for Sacred to be in. They can consider a puck to go towards the safe lane or towards the mid lane, and Stars can see that one coming. Obviously, Stars do have the last pick, so this is the not the ideal spot to be as Sacred. Really, really rough to be picking up your mid lane hero up against the enemy's last pick mid lane. Quap will be taking out, paring down the mid lane selection by quite a bit. Sacred have a good amount of team fight. Their catch is more than adequate right now between the Earth Spirit, and the Earth Shaker.
5 seconds remaining.
So they can just go for a little bit of scaling. Now, Stars will have initiation and stuns in spades, so putting your hopes into a super elusive hero is not entirely safe. Going for like a Tinker, for instance, is going to be incredibly risky for Sacred. Kind of want a little bit more of a tanky hero. I don't think they could really push with like a Death Prophet. I mean, they probably can get away with it to some extent, but I think they probably want to have a little more of a stable, slower mid lane hero and really push the later stages of the game. A hero like Invoker can definitely get a lot of work done. I was gonna say Storm Spirit is risky as well for very similar reasons to why the Weaver is risky. Like, you just are in a lot of trouble a lot of the time, because if you get initiated upon, you're screwed. And we saw how well Stars were able to do that in the last game. Sacred will have pretty powerful initiation off of this hero, but at the same time, Storm Spirit is a mid lane hero that can get absolutely crapped on. He will have some protection here from the Bane and or Earth Spirit, so maybe they'll be able to get something done defensively to get the Storm Spirit over that level 6 hump and actually into the game for real. But for Stars, what are they looking at right now? You don't really want to be playing a huge physical right clicker like a Shadow Fiend up against a Storm Spirit and Weaver. That's not fun. They can go for Death Prophet to capitalize on the minus armor. They can go for... I was gonna say Medusa as soon as I heard it. I was like, damn it, it's too late. I said Medusa like 4 times in the past couple of series games. So you know what? We're gonna call that a good prediction from me. Stars will pick up the Medusa. It's not really a hero that can crush the Storm Spirit. And Leo Style is an absolute beast on the Storm. That's for damn sure. But the Medusa going towards the mid lane. Puck off now. Gyrocopter can take the farm in that safe lane. And Stars do have a very capable late game build. And again, guys, my prediction, I put it in chat, 42 minutes. It's going to happen. That was even before I saw the draft. You could check the tapes. It's there. So, yeah, it looks like I might actually be pretty close to correct. This game I don't see is going to end very quickly. Like, there's a chance, a very, very small chance that Sacred just lose out on all their lanes, and then they just get bulldozed by an early game Gyrocopter and Puck. Again, it's possible, but very unlikely. Sacred, on the other hand, even if they get ahead, I don't really think they could push the issue. Storm and Weaver just don't push structures fast enough, so they will have to go towards the late game no matter what. So my prediction's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with mine. This Medusa is up against no mana burn. Oh, no, it actually is up against some mana burn. There's a little bit of mana burn on the Weaver. That talent. I'm not really sure if it's worth getting, but maybe it is worth getting up against Medusa. At any rate, Stars are not really going to be super aggressive this game. They're just going to chill, try to get this Slardar, that Blink Dagger. Similarly for Jupiter, get a Blink Dagger on the Puck. Just try to mass farm. There's going to be some crowding issues in that Gyrocopter needs the farm, and we'll be able to clear stacks, but then again, Soothes wants to do the same thing. Ned needs the farm as a Slardar. Like, these heroes are very, very gold hungry here from Stars. And Sacred can very easily punish heroes out on their own farming, but it's probably going to be somewhat decent here for Stars. They will all load out in the bottom lane. Ned, Slardar, Sherlock, Gyrocopter, Lil King's Eventual Spirit. Jupiter is on the Puck, as I already said, and Soothes is on the Medusa. On the other end, Matthew playing that Earth Spirit, which he plays all the time. Benjaz is on the Weaver. Masoku playing the Bane once more. Got Leo Styles Storm, a true classic, and Tekka is on the Earth Shaker. It should just about be a 2-2 Bounty Rune split. Now, as far as the early game is concerned, Sacred will have the Earth Spirit as opposed to the Slardar. Slardar can do a decent job at that 4 position, but for sure is a lot slower. It's a little more comfortable just brawling, as the Earth Spirit is able to crash in really heavily and get out just as fast. They will grab bounties, 2-2, no big deal, easy peasy. And it looks like, well, Jupiter is just blocking for right now. Has a TP to go towards top lane, and it will be a little more of an aggressive lane. Yes, guys, I said Medusa like 3 times earlier. I said it in the last game. I said it in this draft. I get at least partial credit for that. And if you guys don't want to do that, then I don't want to be the student of any of you guys. But this offensive tri-lane is pretty deadly. Now, obviously, Venge offensive tri-lanes is pretty powerful. Going in with the Slardar as well, that's pretty potent. Now, the downside is that they're going to be going up against a Weaver. Detection check, 1 sentry is really all you need, but Shikuchi is a real ability. I mean, the cooldown early on is quite long, but if you tag him with the Magic Missile, tag him with the Crush, it will be difficult to land Rocket Barrage just onto a Weaver, who most likely is going to be standing in the middle of his creep wave, so you got to make sure to play around that. But this is going to be a, for sure, difficult lane for this Sacred side. Earth Spirit does not want to be here. Bane kind of does want to be there to help out, but you know what? Bane really needs to be able to help out this mid lane a little bit more. If you are going to be willing to pick up Enfeeble early on, and Masoku has shown himself to be willing to do that, then you can make Medusa's early laning stage absolute hell. Medusa's base damage is not that high. Like, she has a Wraith Band, still only working with 57 damage, and 57 minus 30, that's not good, man. That's really not good. There's the Enfeeble. Good luck last hitting. So the offensive tri-lane is going to be kind of forced out by Masoku here. Oh, Soothes, you baller, you. What are you doing with that, though? That is a little bit too much. Poor dog thing. Ned Bone will still land a Crush onto Leo Style, just charging in with the Boots first build. It's a good snake bounce there, but still, that Enfeeble lasts for so long. It's going to cut a lot into their offensive power on this bottom lane as well. Sentry is going to clear the Observer, which is quite nice here, but this Weaver should be feeling pretty comfortable, though the roll-in will be way off the mark. Sherlock easily sidesteps that. Is going to find Matthew. He Good, the magic missile, but the creep wave is here to absorb the rocket barrage. And that's really the downside of gyrocopter offensive tri-lanes. You gotta be able to isolate the kill. And it's not that easy to do with just a handful of heroes here. Up towards top lane should be the most boring lane of boring lanes, as Puck is going to be... Oh, roll in one more time. Looks like that one missed as well. Puck is going to be just taking on the Shaker. Should be very easy lane for both of these two heroes. Tekka actually has a CS lead right now. That's a little bit surprising. Getting a couple denies. I expect that lane to balance out. Should be pretty much a perfectly even lane on top side. But it's over in mid lane where the party's at. Got Masoku rotating in. Nedbone's going to land a two-man crush. Big snake from the side. Will land a magic missile onto Masoku on the back end of things. Ned will not be able to help out, though. They will land a kick onto Soothes. Mana Shield picked up rather early, but it is going to get Soothes a lot of survivability value there. And we'll be able to back off. Everyone is bruised and bloodied on this mid lane. But this CS is so difficult to come by for the Medusa. CS for the Storm is always really easy, unless he's being like actively pushed out of the lane. His base damage is quite high, his projectile is pretty fast. Really no contest here. Storm Spirit should have this lane on lock CS-wise, at least up until the point where Bane decides to leave. Gyrocopter having some serious issues as well. His base damage is very low. You get the fast attack speed because you're firing guns. Obviously, bullets are going to be pretty quick. Quicker than arrows, at least. But up against a Weaver, it is not a safe place to be. He is going to go for 2 points homing missile, going for a pretty standard gyrocopter build so far. We'll see how much rocket barrage he actually wants to get. Again, it's such a powerful ability, but it's also very, very clunky and hard to land on one target. That, if you are able to do it, is amazing. But I don't know how often that's actually going to be. Once again, much like game 1, we see Sacred running over these lanes. Like top lane, an absolute win so far for the Earthshaker. He's not like absolutely crushing it, but mid lane is being absolutely crushed. Bottom lane is being won. That's all 3 lanes in the bag here for Sacreds, and that's a pretty good place to be. Again, this is the exact situation we saw in game 1. Stars will be able to kind of make back their early game deficit. Not really in mid-game plays, more so in the later game kind of farm game. Still, they have all these opportunities in those later stages to come back. So an early game lead for Sacred, though it is nice, is not something they can really push and turn into an early win. In the last game, we saw them with the Lone Druid, a hero that can, off of a good early game advantage, just start bulldozing towers and look to extend that advantage. Weaver and Storm can get kills and just look to keep their advantage by getting kills and getting a lot of gold that way, which is certainly very viable, but it is you know, not going to be all that guaranteed going up against Stars, who will be able to rotate in with Slardars, for instance, or rotate in with Pucks. Speaking of rotating into the Shaker, they'll not be able to get him because he's a Shaker. Masoku is going to be jumped by this Venge with a Haste Rune. Will be very annoying here, but does not want to walk into tower range. In the meantime, Soothes picking a fight with Leo style. Pulls off the creep wave. There is a rolling boulder coming on in. Jukes from the Vengeful Spirit. I don't know if we can call that Jukes. She hides in the corner and this is going to be fine. Gyrocopter's actually out of mana on this bottom lane. Homing Missile, pretty powerful ability, but is very expensive in the mana department. For a hero that doesn't usually get a lot of mana sustain. Ring of Aquila, and that's pretty much it. Like, maybe a Lincoln Sphere in a given game, but that's not till much later. Ned is camping out mid. Leo style, what level is he? Level 4. Certainly a viable kill right now. Speaking of viable kills, Sherlock is in a little bit of trouble. Silence goes on to 2. And he is very weak, but not weak enough to dive into a tier 1. Soothes in the meantime. Getting chased out by Masoku, so no one dead just yet. Man, whenever we don't have a kill for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, I always get like super nervous because I know that the odds of me missing first blood are going to be increasing over time. Speaking of, Tekka, you gotta chug that salve, man. It's good for you. Jupiter already used the orb. Uses his entire kit, of course, minus that coil, which he just now picks up. If this Slaughter dies in this mid lane, man, that's gonna be upsetting. Just sitting there at no HP, leeching some experience. Level 2 Slaughter is a sad place to be 5 minutes in. Slaughter isn't quite like a hero like Bounty Hunter, where it's like you get your level 6 and you're good to go. You do want all those levels, all the small levels, especially with the sprint changes in the river. You absolutely need to get that. Oh, Jupiter kills him with the coil snap. I totally caught that, guys. Screw you. Coil does a lot of damage now when it breaks, and when you TP out, you do break the coil every single time. if you are still coiled, obviously. So Puck is going to get a nice solo kill up towards top on a hero that's worth quite a bit. It's going to catapult the Puck up to number 1 in the net worth department. Of course, the Medusa and Gyrocopter, though, especially this Medusa, is having an absolute nightmare of a time. 8 CS from the mid lane. I'm pretty sure she casted more, enough snakes to get more than 8 CS, but still, this Enfeeble is absolutely backbreaking. Not to mention the fact that it's just a Bane camping out in your lane. Roll in, Soothes can get hit with the kick, but with Lil showing up here, not able to do much. Stars have to try to lean on their Puck to give them a little bit of an edge farm-wise. Just try to apply that pressure, get a handful of kills, and keep the Sacred side on the defensive. If they can make that happen, just make sure that they are safe because of the threat of Puck. That's how the Medusa, that's how the Gyrocopter come back into the game. Of course, Gyrocopter can start nuking fools once the Puck starts rotating around. If he has enough mana, that is. Call down just around the corner, unless he dies here. He's going to get the call down level at least. Going to try to TP out. It's going to be pretty close. Oh, he makes it back to the base. Calculated. Sherlock is going to be A-okay. But still, this is going to be a pretty nice early game start here for the Sacred side. Tekka, looking like he might be in a little bit of trouble, but diving into an Earthshaker at this stage, pretty dangerous. You have only 1 point in the silence. Coil is there. The snake will not even connect, nor will the orb. Nothing connects, although he will snap the coil. Oh, that's going to be his death blow right there. I think if Tekka didn't snap that, he would have had a chance. Because he has Echo Slam, he has Enchant Totem with 2 points Aftershock. I don't really know if he gets out of there, but at least he does a lot of damage back to Stars. Obviously, when you snap the coil, it's not really happening. That was with Orb missing and Snake missing. Magic Missile Chainsaw with the missile. Oh, it's good enough. Oh, double missiles, man. 1 magic, 1 fueled with technology, and it chain stuns and kills off Benjaz in the bottom lane. With a sneaky play there from this Venge. Waiting in the trees, now looking for Matthew. Magic Missile is going to give chase. Boom, so will the Heat-Seeking Missile. Turns out both these missiles are heat-seeking. And, well, they'll kick the Gyrocopter, trade stuns. Awkward, but everyone will back off just fine. Puck, second coil, second kill. Headbone will try to get a little bit of action on top lane, but you don't want to mess with Shaker as a melee hero. Echo Slam is a real ability. Both of these heroes just trying to push towards that Blink Dagger mark. It's going to be great for Tekka, obviously. Losing your Slaughter, though, being still a very low-level, low-value hero. You'd rather him to be farming, obviously, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. As long as your Medusa is getting something. Medusa is not getting a lot. She is certainly not getting a lot, but she's getting something. You need her to start getting stacks up for her. You need to get like a couple minutes of free lane time. Again, it's really difficult to actually find those opportunities to get that time, but if you can, that's how you come back and get into the driver's seat as Stars. Ned and Jupiter tag teaming up once again. With Jupiter having a level 3 Waning Rift at this point, should be very viable kills on almost any given target should they land the coil properly and should they have vision, which they don't for the Weaver, so they're going to have to set up another homing missile play. Benjaz is going to be, dodging the crush, but still the homing missile is going to see him. And he has Shikuchi, but you know what? You can't run forever because here comes the plink from the homing missile. Benjaz is going to get nuked by technology from the Gyrocopter. Another nice kill. And a much-needed kill participation here for this Gyrocopter. Again, this early game build of the Gyrocopter maxing out that homing missile. Gotta make sure you get him a lot of action, because if you don't, that skill does get much worse moving forward. Right now, though, man does do a lot of damage. And decent stun time, of course. The Stars are playing pretty much as they should be to recover back into this game. Masoku is in a bad spot. Magic Missile is there. Ned's a little bit out of position. Oh, but the Nightmare goes onto the Illusion. Jebaited for sure. Masoku is going to get tagged by the orb and will fall before he can get to the Ancients and try to go for a deny. You can't really blame him like that. They're just, you see 2 Slaughters, you gotta guess for one of them, and he guessed wrong. He chose poorly. Feels bad, man. The coil was not used there, so Jupiter still is working with that one, and this is how Stars get back into the driver's seat. Constant aggression, not surrounding the Medusa.
Radiant's middle tower
Just
is
kind of
under attack.
tangentially, maybe. Medusa, like, throws in a snake or something like that. But if the Puck can do the heavy lifting, then the Puck, who had the best lane, is going to be giving the team all the farm space they need. It's not enough at this point to call it a convincing win. Obviously, 4 kills is nice for the Stars side. But they still don't quite have the farm on the relevant heroes to really back that up. Sood's first item in the Mask of Madness, a farming item first and foremost here for the Medusa, is still nowhere near completion. But she picks up more points than Snake, more levels in general, and is getting more space provided to her by her allies. She'll be able to recover. It is up to Sacred's Storm Spirit to try to step up and prevent this from happening. The Earthshaker as well, once he picks up his Blink Dagger, which is actually very nearby for King Tekka, can step up and start applying that pressure back to Stars as well. But with the Kaya and the Blink, which should be coming up soon, I think that timing should just about be time for Sacred to try to push the issue a little bit. Don't want to be risking it too much in the late game. Sherlock will once again get out from the roll from Matthew. Lil's here as well is going to get put to sleep. There is no grip just yet. Bane is so close to it. Not quite there. There's Tekka with Blink Dagger now available to him. Haste Rune on the Puck is going to find Masoku. They have a Crush. They have a Coil if they need it. They're going to save it for right now. Just try to orb him and just right-click him down. Brain Sap is going to make that a little bit slow. Nightmare isn't going to do it as Jupiter does jump with Waning Rift and lands a Coil onto 2 heroes. Although, however, Leo Style is here, does get crushed. Here comes the call down. Lots of damage onto these 3 as the Gyrocopter getting let loose. So much damage will kill off that one hero, but that's about it, as Puck will get out from Tekka's Blink Dagger until the chase forward. Echo Slam just for the stun is good enough. And Leo Style shows up in a big way. Sherlock's build as Gyrocopter. Call down is great. The missile is not nearly as powerful in that situation as a Rocket Barrage would be. If he was able to max out Rocket Barrage, if he just got a Tome of Relearning, took out all the homing missile, got a lot of Rocket Barrage, that would have been at least another kill there for Stars instead of just the, I believe, Earth Spirit that he got. Very front-loaded in damage Gyrocopter. Is not quite at a point yet where his flat cannon is actually a substantial threat. So it's going to be a slightly better fight there from Sacred. Obviously, the Shaker showing off that Blink Dagger, Storm Spirit showing off that Kaya. Really, really powerful set of items, and that is going to be Sacred kind of, taking the lead as far as that's concerned. And the upside for Stars is that Sood's, again, was not involved. So the Medusa doesn't want to be touching those fights. Now the 50-foot pole. Oh, Benjaz is going to be Blink silenced and orbed and coiled. Crush is not going to matter because he snaps the coil with time lapse. I've never seen that before. I mean, it's not like that uncommon. It's not that weird, but it's like I've never seen that before. Coil snapped by time lapse. Feels bad, man. And this is the issue of picking up a Weaver in this situation. I mentioned it when the hero was picked. There is so much stun action here from Stars. And it's going to get even worse before it gets better. Like, Ned still hasn't picked up his Blink Dagger, still is quite far away from it. It's not easy playing a really soft, elusive hero up against a team that has a million stuns. It is not easy. Medusa now has the Mask of Madness. That's her road to recovery right there. Still, the biggest concern for Stars is how do we get the Blink Dagger on Slardar? There's not going to be a ton of space for this guy to farm. At least is level 7 at this point, so does have that Corrosive Haze. Is soon to be working with that Super River Walking, whatever you want to call it. From the sprint. Of course, 1 point crush. Some extra damage as well, not bad. For sure, Sacred, though, with the Storm Spirit and the Earthshaker, do have that advantage. If they're able to get the initiation off, was their problem in the last game, might just be their problem in this game as well. Weaver has picked up the Mana Break talent. I mean, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about this Medusa, but you know what? Medusa, with the evasion, with eventually the ability to get 800 mana, pretty sure occasionally losing 20 mana a shot is not going to bother her all that much. Jupiter jumps in. Is going to orb himself out of there before he can get silenced. Still, Tekka is here with the Blink Dagger and the Fissure, so they have to leave very quickly. Masoku is going to put the Slaughter to sleep, and they will jump in and stun the Puck. Fissure onto 2 as well. Slaughter is going to be fine as they'll chase for the Puck instead. Never mind, not fine. There's a grip here, and they'll get both. Great recognition there from Sacred to look for the puck first and foremost, and then go for the puck once they realize they caught him with the stun. Like, Slaughter, if you let him live, whatever, it doesn't matter. Gotta get that puck, he's worth a lot.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures.
Sherlock was pushing all the while in the bottom lane.
Dire's
Will be converged upon, call down will be used. We'll miss the roll, but they have a Storm Spirit here. And Gyrocopter with only 1 point rocket barrage is not a substantial threat, so Tekka will snag that kill with the fissure. And by snag, I mean steal. It's the Earthshaker tax.
Radiant's middle
Everyone knows about the Earthshaker tax. And he pushed the wave in pretty far, got a lot of gold just from pushing in the meantime, but still, losing a Gyrocopter or Medusa is so costly.
has been denied.
And Sacred are starting to step up that pressure. They have to make sure to keep up that pressure non-stop, as long as you have mana and cooldowns, which right now they don't really have. But as long as you have the two, then go for it, man. Soku is going to get hit with the Magic Missile, Orb through Coil and Waning Rift. Right clicks, right clicks, right clicks. A little bit of minus armor. Completely necessary. Will be another kill for the team. Medusa, Dragonlance after the Mask of Madness. I said it earlier. This Mask of Madness right here is her road to recovery. It's still not exactly where Medusa wants to be, but I'll tell you what, second place in net worth is a hell of a lot better than where she was just 5 minutes ago. Tower, chip, chip. No, not much tower pressure on the other lanes. The Swarm will be thrown out. Tower was almost denied there, but Leo Styles going to arrive. And Medusa, you gotta fight to the death to protect her. Although it doesn't seem like Sacred are really gonna chase after her Medusa, so it makes it pretty easy. Oh, Tekka's initiation is gonna completely whiff. Up against the slippery nature of the puck, they do dust up Benji as swap from Lil. Not quite able to find him around the tree. The dust will be used there. Not a terribly huge cost from Stars to avoid what could be a cataclysmic fight. Again, even though the positioning is really good with Stars having the high ground, I mean, we obviously have all seen Star Wars, so we know how good that is. But even with them having the high ground, the Medusa being as lackluster as she is, just as her nature as a hero, like, you don't want to fight yet. You do not want to take that fight. You do want to, however, go for this late game, because we got late game here. Medusa, obviously, late game powerhouse. Gyrocopter is not quite on the level of Medusa, but is certainly no slouch. Puck with the Hand of Midas can be absolutely devastating. And I'm not, again, sure if the Sacred side can punish this. Like, they've tried to go for those team fights, and they so far have been playing pretty much as they should have to punish this, but the limitation of their draft is just that they don't have any really great tower killers until the Weaver picks up a little bit more in the way of items. Something a little more direct. An MK... No, not MKB nowadays. Maybe like a Daedalus or a Desolator. Something that just gives him a lot of plus damage. That is not up yet. Diffusal Blade will not be that item. Although more mana burn is not bad up against Medusa. They can't punish by taking objectives. So they just have to look for kills. Scans will both go red. Ned is pushing forward, and Ball Lightning in is going to jump in on Soothe, but Tekka already initiated upon this Medusa. Coil's going to land, and Soothe's still alive thanks to that mana shield. Is going to get shrined up as well, giving her double HP and mana, obviously. Tekka will be picked off on the sidelines. Leo Style will jump out of there, but into the clutch of the call down. Kaboom! Jupiter gets a double kill. They're going to make a retreat with the rest of them, but fighting under Shrine. It's been a while since these shrines were introduced. I guess it's been a while since the shrine... It's not been a while since the shrine was over here necessarily, but Shrine for Medusa is a godsend. You get the health, you get the mana, which translates back into health. You get double value there. And the jump in... I think that was jump in Echo Slam from the Shaker. Like, obviously, nowadays, Echo Slam, if you're going to initiate with it in that fashion, it is just a stun. Like, it doesn't really do any damage.
What have we here?
Unless you have an entire creep wave there. And Medusa, obviously, in that position, doesn't have a creep wave there, so... Sacred overstepped their bounds just slightly. We'll look for a puck. They don't have a grip, though, so there's no chance they get this kill. That is such a bad fight for Sacred. Not only does it just give gold to Stars, keep Stars safe for the meantime, but this may just stop Sacred from making these aggressive plays. And if they stop, if they try to angle towards the late game, that's how they lose. There is no real great way for them to come back from a game where they've kind of conceded the mid game. They have to keep applying that pressure, regardless of the outcome of any given fight. Trying to change course is how they lose. Of course, they are going to have to wait for their cooldowns. Another 30 seconds left for that Echo.
Radiant's bottom
Grip
tower
is up
under
soon.
attack.
So they will have just a couple more seconds to wait here. Stars in the meantime, just playing 30 seconds of Medusa farm with maxed out split shot. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Ooh, took mana steal on the Mystic Snake. Interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, I think these are the already pushed up numbers. I'm not really sure how good that is. Like, can you actually depend on Mystic Snake to drain the Storm Spirit or Weaver's mana? Like, the Storm Spirit has Kaya, which means that you lose less mana. I'm pretty sure this is just not the build. By the way, people are dying in the meantime while I'm using over talents. Well, Sherlock's gonna get jumped. With Lil here, Leo style with a low mana pool, can't really go for much, but they will find Soothes off to the south. And man, oh man, that Weaver's dishing damage, but will get petrified and crushed. They have to retreat though. Soothes with no mana is not a capable hero in this circumstance. They'll call down just to slow down the backup here from Sacred. Benya is pushing forward by himself. Very, very bold there. He will once again defuse the gyrocopter. Slows our intense fissure onto 3. And with the jump in Echo Slam, they'll immediately get 2 in Sherlock and Ned. That was a slow, slow retreat there from Stars of Benya, showing up with that diffusal blade with its new active, which slows, which is called slow. No, it's called pivot. No, I thought it was called slow. My bad. Maybe they changed it. Who cares? Either way, that was just the amount of CC they needed for Tekka to get into position. And for Leo Style to get that additional mana. Stars did take the last fight pretty darn well, but that was also Sacred overstepping their bounds by quite a bit. In the middle of the lane, in the middle of the jungle, a Weaver with the Diffusal Blade, with the amount of damage he's able to put out, is a monster. And for Stars, they have to make sure to get the initiation off. That's been the case in the last game and in this game. Blink Dagger is now up on Slardar, and of course on Puck with the Yule Scepter completed as well. They don't really want to just group up and farm the map, but it may just be coming to that stage soon enough. Storm Spirit, Earth Spirit, Earth Shaker. These are the perfect type of heroes to go for these type of pickoffs. Punish these random heroes that are out about on the map. Although, speaking of, I'm sorry, Bane. You had a good run. Was getting caught part of your plan? Unfortunately, Nightmare doesn't do damage anymore, so you can't do that. Well, supports for supports. Feels bad, man. Never any love for these supports. S and Y on the gyrocopter into a BKB. Not a super bursty build on the gyrocopter, but he is not the carry. That's the Medusa. So he just has to be the heavy on the front lines. If he does damage, takes damage, whatever, it's all fine. Just gotta make sure the Medusa is safe. Sacred have not touched this bottom lane. Still with an easy tier 1 tower to take. Being constantly pushed out by Stars, but it would be a pretty easy objective for Sacred to push forward into the later stages. You gotta cut out that map control from Stars as fast as possible. You know, obviously, top lane was just taken. Oof. So much cash for Medusa now. Medusa pushing that level 20 talent. Of course, Lincoln Sphere now up. Absolute all-star versus the Bane, but haven't gone for Enfeeble. I mean, Enfeeble usually is just that trash spell. It's maxed out at this point, so if you keep your damage as Medusa, you're going to be pretty darn happy. She just still doesn't do that much damage. Like, 170 a shot minus, was it 90? Okay, it's 50 damage a shot. That's not good. That's not good at all for Medusa. With the split shot as well, like, that is not, that's kind of pathetic. Smoke up into Roche. They have maxed out Wave and Corrosive Haze. So this is actually, it's not going to be incredibly fast, but then again, Sacred are nowhere nearby. Storm Spirit has quite a few Bloodstone charges. Benjaz is pushing forward to maybe get into range, throw out a Swarm. Radiant will scan, but it goes green. Now it goes red, but it's a little bit too late. Again, scan does not go red if you're in the pit. You have to be like out here. And they will get hit with the Echo Slam. Roshan, Age is still on the floor. Tekka, where is it? Someone has to grab it. Snatch by Soothes. The Radiant will get the golden experience, and Soothes, though, gonna put his back in against the pit and just chunk down Tekka. And they'll get onto Benjaz as well, though they will lose 3 heroes in the outskirts. The Gyrocopter was all alone. What the hell happened there? Jump in from Leo Style now. Gonna try to go for this Medusa. The Aegis is gonna keep her pretty darn safe. Maybe they can go for the puck a little bit easier. Already used that Yule Scepter, will get gripped, so no chance for the puck. And Stars lose 4. As Tekka just blindly jumping in with the Echo Slam. Initiation they need to get the Roshan kill. Don't get the Aegis, but still get a truck ton of cash, and I'm sure they're gonna be happy about that.
What have we here?
Medusa is able to slip away with her life, with the Aegis as well. And as powerful as Medusa is with Aegis on paper, it pretty much requires that she has damage. And right now, she doesn't have damage. Her attack speed is decent with Mask of Madness. Her damage, though, is severely lacking until she gets this Butterfly. And even when she does get that, Enfeeble is just going to crap all over that. So Medusa's still not a real hero in the game, despite being second place in net worth. She just isn't able to contribute enough. She needs another item. If the next item is in fact going to be a Butterfly, then yeah, she'll be able to contribute in a big way. But still, that's a very, very high ticket item. Tekka in the back line sees Soothes, sees Sherlock with the ward. Soothes in the front line is going to be completely bypassed, actually. They're going to go straight for the Gyrocopter, and he will fall first thing. Coil lands only onto the Earthshaker. Swap is not going to snap it, but it should still kill him in the end. Tekka will fall in a 1-for-1 trade. Pretty even exchange, actually. Gyrocopter's net worth is not that high. You know what? That was actually a pretty decent fight for Stars. Yeah, they're slightly ahead in that trade. Just slightly. But these fights going in for Gyrocopters, if the Gyrocopter had another item, like on top of this SNY, he had a BKB, and it was just, you know, worth more, then yeah, that'll definitely be a good answer. But right now, it's Medusa or bust, pretty much. The puck does have a very inflated net worth because of the Hand of Midas, and is going to go in for a smoke play here. Benjaz is a tough nut to crack. They only have Blink Crush, no Coil. I don't think that's a possibility. I mean, they can't snap the Coil with the swap. There's a chance here. They gotta go for it. There's the Blink Crush, and the Corrosive Haze, and Magic Missile, and they got him. Leo Style, though, is going to come in for the punish. Make it a 1-for-1 onto Jupiter, and 2-for-1, and 3-for-1. As Leo Style has almost infinite mana thanks to the Kaya and 25 Bloodstone charges. Stars will immediately regret their decision. They'll lose the Weaver. But Weaver, I mean, as much as he's worth, I'm pretty sure the 3 that they got in exchange is well worth it. It's specifically for Leo Style. This guy is a vet on the Storm Spirit, and he is absolutely loaded. Back in the meantime, hunting. They won't find Sherlock just yet, but Leo Style is going to push forward. Is running low on mana, though. Is going to run to Soothes. And the grip comes in from nowhere. How did Masoku get there? Full channel grip onto the Gyrocopter with Leo Style able to regenerate some mana. They will have to face up against this double life Medusa, but she has no backup. They will just leave her alone? No, I mean not. Tekka is another blink in, but doesn't want to go for an Aegis Medusa right now. How the hell did Masoku get all the way back here? He has a blink dagger. Oh my god, this Bane is pretty darn stacked. They land the Enfeeble on the Medusa. She now hits like a kitten. And not like a kitten with claws, like a kitten with no claws. Although everyone from Stars is starting to come back from the dead. Ned has a Blink Dagger in 5, already used it. Masoku has a Blink Dagger. Obviously, he is being tracked up by the Haze. But this is really dangerous here from Ned chasing this far. Benjaz is going to wander in towards the Vengeful Spear, takes a Magic Missile to the Dome. There's a Blink Crush here as well, but there's no one to actually do the damage. Leo Style, speaking of damage, is going to come in and just slay the Vengeful Spirit. Now the Fissure onto the puck. Does have a lift up with the Yule Scepter, but it's too late. She's already dead. And now Soothes, well, is going to get put to sleep. Is under Shrine and still has the Aegis, but has no backup. Maybe they can actually do this. Aegis is going to be reclaimed pretty soon. She's dodging quite a few attacks, but the Shrine is not going to be used just yet. Can't touch it. Is going to use it, but is going to die immediately afterwards. They cancel the TP. They're going to leave the Medusa for dead. Fight to the bitter end, Soothes, I believe. Crush lands only onto the Weaver. Soothes is doing about no damage right now. Is she even attacking? I can't tell because she does no damage, Medusa. Ned is going to get chased down by Leo Style. This Storm Spirit is out of control, gets crushed, so maybe can't seal the deal here on Ned, but man, that's going to push the Sacred lead to an 8k advantage. Absolutely huge. And now Stars are starting to crumble. Leo Style is getting all the initiations off. Tekka as well. Playing this Shaker almost to perfection. The Fissures have been landing on so many heroes. Absolutely insane. And Stars, they just don't have the damage right now. Gyrocopter just isn't that hero. The puck, as much damage as the puck is able to put out, is just getting isolated and killed off. Speaking of, is going to get fissured immediately out, although the swap is there. Call down as well. They don't have enough lockout for Leo Style. He's just going to ball out of there. Benyes is kind of stuck thanks to that fissure. Okay, maybe not to perfection, as I said before. Benyes, though, even if he does die, it's not a big deal. They get the grip onto the gyrocopter, and no one's able to break it. Why is no one breaking it? The Medusa is going to finally come back, and finally they land the crush onto the Bane, killing him off with that Weaver as well. Saving the gyrocopter. The Puck survives as well, but it costs them the buyback on the Medusa. So expensive. Even though she does help get the kill, that gold loss penalty means that she doesn't actually get anything for killing off that Bane. The butterfly is now a distant, distant dream for Soothes. If he finds a butterfly on the ground, stars are still very much so in it, but this Medusa is suffering in the net worth department, and Storm Spirit is running wild. Almost level 25 at this stage. And is going to jump in. I don't think the ball ending connected onto the Vengeful Spirit, but wow. Oh my god, that snake actually drained a lot of mana. Okay, maybe I underestimated that. There's a very high chance that I did. Holy crap, that was a lot of mana drain. That's a talent, level 15 talent. The Storm Spirit is absolutely loaded. Does he need to pierce magic immunity? He will get value off of that through the gyrocopter BKB. By the way, people are dying. Lots of people are dying just to Leo Style by himself. And oh, Puck is going to get fissured, and the damage is enough with the chain stun from Tekka. A double for Leo Style. 32 Bloodstone charges. I think 73 mana regeneration is pretty good. I mean, either talent he gets, most likely going to be the ball lightning, whatever remnant talent. He is just going to be untouchable. Stars cannot initiate it on him. He can stand, like, if they're planning on fighting over here, Storm Spirit can stand over here. Like, you don't have to show yourself at all as Leo Style if you don't want to. Gyro has a BKB. That's going to matter about Zero. He doesn't do any damage. I mean, he'll have flat cannon shots, and that's kind of nice, but the amount of damage they need to kill off Leo Style within the duration of their stuns, they don't have it. The Medusa doesn't have it. She's almost going to pick up her Eagle Song. Would have had it if not forced to buy out earlier. I think the best chance they have is if they're able to, like, stun the Storm Spirit while he's facing the Medusa. If they're able to petrify him with the Stone Gaze, there's a chance. It is so hard to do, though. So hard to do. Coil immediately snapped into a Stone Gaze, right? Maybe? I don't know. At this point, stars are going to be just going to be grasping for straws and how to deal with the Storm Spirit. And then also you have to deal with the Weaver. Someone has to deal with that grip because no one's been doing that at all. I don't know how Masoku's been allowed to get off literal full channels of Fiend's Grip in a game where, like, everyone can cancel it, but he's been able to do it, so more power to him. Like, even if you do, by some miracle, killing off the Storm Spirit, you gotta deal with a lot of power behind the Storm Spirit as well. Oh, Matthew with the smack talk. Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're sorry about that, man. Uh-huh. We all believe you, Matthew. We all believe you. Let's take a look at some. That's not. Oh, that is not a button I've ever pressed before. Okay. What do we got here? Tekka is just building up. Really now? Well, we'll see if he's actually going to build. We got the Perseverance. Has an extra Ring of Health. That's not that. Get back here. Is this? He's going for a Refresher Orb? Should be it, right? That's a really weird. Okay, yes, he is. He's going for a Refresher Orb. Uh-huh. He has Soul Ring. That's 150. He has about 1,100 mana. 375. It's such a item with such a high peak of power, but I'm not sure if he can actually combo it well enough to make it valuable. Like, is this better than... I mean, Silver Edge isn't really that great here. Is it better than Sheepstick? I don't think so. Gotta... Okay, never mind. He has an energy booster. Just randomly picks one up. Just to have enough mana. Okay, yeah. Now Refresher Orb is pretty ridiculous. Refresher... Blink. Echo. Fissure. I don't know if you enchant Totem as well. It depends on how greedy you want to be. But if you're able to get 2 Echo Slams off, you're going to be killing some fools. It's going to be pretty easy. Number 2, Roshan, and it's going to drop in just a matter of seconds. Smoke is incoming here for Stars with their initiation range. Puck and a Slaughter might not be quite high enough. Scan goes red for just a split second. They'll jump in and grab Aegis and Cheese and be on their merry way. What the hell was that? Jump in, Ball Lightning. Leo Styles hunting. Oh, he's looking. He's going to find Nedbone. Crush is going to be dodged by the Ball Lightning. Now looking for a second as he silences the Vengeful Spirit and will tear apart the supporting crew for Stars. Costs him a lot of mana, but 34 Bloodstone charges, 75 mana regen, 77 mana regen with the Ring of Keela near him. I'm pretty sure it's not going to bother him all too much. The BKB charge being down is going to mean that he's not completely immortal, but he does have a second life, so I'm pretty sure he just doesn't care. Gets silenced, whatever, man. Doesn't have the most right clicks. Here comes the Echo Slam, only onto 1. Refresher Orb still available. Echo Slam number 2. It's not going to do a lot, but it will be enough to kill off the Medusa either way. Sherlock is doing a decent amount of damage here with the missile landing onto the Gyrocopter. He's running out of Black Cannon charges. And now he's pretty much just done. Why am I lagging? What is happening right now? Sherlock is dying in the meantime. Leo Styles Aegis was picked off. And now they're looking for more. Puck's going to die. Look at all these freaking remnants all over the place. You can see where the Storm Spirit was. This game is pretty much over, I would say. Only Gyro and Puck can return to the game. Medusa is out for good. She had a butterfly there, but was literally chain stunned 100-0 thanks to Tekka's Refresher Orb. That's going to be 1 Rax. That's going to be a slow second. They are not very good at killing off structures, especially without their Enchant Totem Shaker. They'll land a Crush on the Storm, but these two can just die, like right now. I'm pretty sure if they wanted to kill him, they can with the Storm. Where's the backup here? Weaver's going to be left for dead. Storm, what's the deal, man? You're supposed to go in there and help your allies. Okay, well, it's not game just yet. But it's still a 21k lead and advantage of Sacred. And that's pretty good. Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough. I was talking about these, like, weird corner cases. Swap out of Coil into a Petrify. Like, those are the type of things that you need to actually do right now. Like, before I was saying, like, that's how you come back. But at this point, you got to do that type of stuff just to make sure you don't lose the game. Not fun. Not fun at all. But it's time to see some godlike play style here. Matthew is going to see the obs with the gem. Still they're chasing forward. Wave's going to give him vision. They do land the Crush, but the kick is going to land into 2. And now here comes the damage from Leo Style. He's got his BKB up. He's going to lay into the Slaughter. Masoku's going to get a pretty nice grip onto Sherlock, though the BKB will save himself a lot of that damage. They'll take down 1 at least. Tekka's going to land an Echo Slam. Tagged onto Suze, with the Butterfly doing some damage here. Leo Style is going to be forced to back out of here. Is going to get petrified, actually. That's their chance. Shiva's guard, zip away, zip back in. Snipes the Gyrocopter, zipping every which way. Tags the Puck as well. Look at this. He doesn't even care what he's doing. He has an Arcane Rune, by the way. Jumping in for more, kills off the Venge. Is he losing mana? I can't even tell if he's losing mana. It doesn't really look like. The last hero alive is the Medusa. Run, you snake lady, run. I don't know if you can outrun a Storm Spirit. Seems pretty difficult. Storm Spirit with Weaver and Earth Spirit. It'll be a full 5-man wipe. Leo Style just went ham. Spirits, static remnants, absolutely freaking everywhere. 42 Bloodstone charges. This has got to be some sort of record, right? Like, this is actually the most Bloodstone charges I've ever seen. Look at those remnants. Just look at the minimap. You don't even have to look at the screen. Look, like, I'll go over here. Look at the minimap. You can tell where the Storm Spirit has been. Thank you, Ice Frog. Thank you for this. Even Yellow. Bane's like, what the hell, man? That's broken as hell. And you know what, Bane? I agree. I agree. I mean, all joking aside, Leo Style has been playing absolutely crazy on the Storm Spirit, and his backup has been impeccable, specifically this Earthshaker. Stuns when they need him, where they need him, on the important heroes. Benya's, it almost seems like he's not even necessary. I'm pretty sure if Benya's DC'd right now, like, it doesn't even matter, because Leo Styles got this one in the bag. He's just tanking tower shots, dodging them with the ball lightning, no big deal. Oh, there's a second support over here. Let's kill him as well. He's running out of mana. Oh my god, what a travesty. Leo Styles out of mana. Oh wait, no, he's not. He's at half mana. Never mind. He's at full mana, guys. Whatever. By the way, Benjaz is taking down the rack. This game is over. Stars put up a pretty decent fight, but now we're gonna be double Echo Slam in their fountain. Oof. Storm Spirit won game 1 for Stars. Storm Spirit won game 2 for Sacred. So what's going to happen in game 3 vis-a-vis Storm Spirit? I'm not sure. But I'll tell you what, catch is important. Being able to lock down the Storm Spirit, pressure him early on, that's important. Being able to get farm on Medusa and a Gyrocopter, it's all important. But Sacred this game, absolutely style on Stars, and that'll push them to a game 3. Guys, I'm Mike Lohr. It's been a pleasure casting these games for you guys. Don't go anywhere. Stars and Sacred will settle their rumble in just a little bit. Here's the